Hi guys, Mrs. Hawes here for another exciting JFF or art project here in the outdoor studio of Mrs. Hawes. You can hear Snickers in the background say, "Hi Aspen!" She is playing with her ball, so if you hear that squeaky noise, that is Aspen saying, "Hey, here I am out here." So we're going to do this day, it's called scratch art. I can't remember if it was on choice card 1 or 2. Anyhow, you can do it anytime you want to. This is our scratch art piece. It's easy. We did this in class. Remember, I buy it for you, the black paper that we scratch off, and always say, you can do this at home. Miss Hawes has done it at home herself when she was a kid, and you don't need much. You need some sort of paper, doesn't really matter the color, I guess. The most important thing is you do need a black crayon. You do need your crayons, whatever colors you have handy, but black is the most important. And then you need something to scratch it off with. In art, we use those art picks. I have toothpicks that could possibly work, but mine are kind of thin toothpicks, so it might break. So I found other things that might work too. I do have Japanese chopsticks. They could work. I'm not going to use my fancy chopsticks, but I thought you might have some of those at home. Or like an old pencil or mechanical pencil, just that kind of little sharp end that you could use to scratch it off with. So the easy thing about it is we can talk about anything we want and do this scratch art. You could talk about lines, you can talk about shapes, you can talk about patterns, you can talk about any of the elements of art as you want to, or you could just have fun coloring it in any way you want to. So the first part is really just figuring out what you want to do on the background. What do you want to show up? And the easiest way is just to press hard with your crayons and color it in any way you want to. The more you color it in and the harder you press, the better the next step is going to work. Now, you think you're going to press hard with this step. The next step, you really got to use what I called elbow grease. My dad always called it elbow grease. That means you really have to press hard. So once you are done with that, I won't take up too much of your time. Once you're done coloring your background paper in, then this is where you really have to use, they call elbow grease, is really pressing hard with this black crayon. And you have to color over your picture with your black. And I'm sure the video is bouncing on you, but pressing really, really hard. Now, if you had black paint, like temper cake paint, and it would stick, you could paint it over with black paint. That would probably work well. Sharpie, not so much. But if you have crayon, that's the easiest way I did when I was a kid. You just press really, 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 really hard over it. Really, 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 really hard over it. Paint would work, but crayon works better too. Colored pencil, I don't think would work either because it won't scratch off. You need that kind of basey, kind of painty, oily kind of part of it. I guess if you had oil pastel, you could probably paint it over with oil pastel and that would work. And then when you have it all colored in, of course I don't have it all done, but when you have it all colored in, you get to take your tool and scratch anything you want out of it. And this is kind of like what we did at school. Now, if you happen to have fancy crayons like golds or pastels, that's more like the ones I buy for you at school. But look, scratch art. Are you ready? Set, go have fun.